talked about the next generation. We've got young people in schools, in primary and that. Some of these things they wouldn't understand. All that they see is a couple of young, maybe older people demonstrating about what's going on in Burkina Faso. What would you be saying to these children of us, the next generation, to be able to understand that this is their soil, this is their home, and it is time for them to be able to possess? We need to be able to get the education to go further and beyond what our age group are talking about, but rather to take it down to the classrooms, to our young year 3, year 4, class 3, class 5. What are we going to be saying to them as a message of hope?
We are not going to say anything for them as a message of hope. We are only going to leave the template for them to come and see. We have lived it. We are talking it. But we are going to leave the history for them to come and see it. You see, one thing is that we don't own even the internet that we are all chasing today. One day we'll wake up and the internet is shut and all this history will be erased. But then when you visit Burkina today, even on these grounds that we stand today, was a day that Corporativo, Sergeant Odatelamte, them rose up to fight for their rights. And the history is not what we are seeing on the internet, but the history is where we are standing now. Really? That is the history. And the next generation will remember that some people actually did something for us. That is why we are seeing the light today. That is why we are riding on good roads. That is why we can sit in good classrooms. That is why we can hit our hand on our chest and say we are black people, not just living somewhere and calling ourselves African Americans, white Africans. It is sickening. That does not speak of the history we want to leave behind. The history that we want to leave behind is the templates of what Ibrahim Traore is leaving behind. The young people of Africa will come and see it and not only be read, they will see the realities on the grounds when you visit Burkina. When you visit Bamako today, you will see the reality. When you visit Ouagadougou today, you will see the reality. And that is what we want to see across Africa. So this is a call to those that call themselves leaders of Africa. They should start acting indeed as leaders of the land, sons and children of the land, and leave that legacy that won't only be posted on social media, be posted on the internet that we don't control, but will leave a mark on the soil where we find ourselves. And the history will speak for itself. We are remembering who we are. We are transitioning from wherever we started from. Like I've always been saying, that they need to accept the generation now or be ready for the consequences of the new revolution. And now, because they are not ready to allow us get to where we need to get to. And they use the army. And I say, the greatest weapon of the West today is not the missiles and the bombs and the other things they use. The greatest weapon is misinformation. African youth, wise up. Let them know that eyes are watching, ears are listening, brains are processing, and we are beginning to see who we are, and we will get there. And when the time comes, the color will speak for itself. For the army of America, we will see what it will be left with when the black Africans in there, the black Americans that call themselves, will start getting out of the army and start fighting for their skin and start fighting for their last generation. The torture they went through sailing through this Mediterranean Sea, they will remember that, hey, these people are not just the people we see them to be. These people were actually our backbone that we downplayed. And today, they have realized who they are and they're going to rise up and fight. As for France, we are ready to take off the light. And when the light goes off, you will see darkness. The darkness.
You ask Nigeria.
Sorry?
You ask Nigeria how darkness is.
Nigeria. Long live. Long live.
Rob, before you go, we are having our children born in the diaspora who unfortunately sometimes are equally deluded about the motherland, who are equally used as instruments. You know, this is the time that we need to be able to bring everybody, not just because we've got the same skin tone, but we need to make sure that everybody who wants to call themselves children of the land is able to rise up. How are we encouraging these children of ours to say that this is where they can call home?
we are. This thing has been ringing and reminiscing in my brain all the time when I go and sit at the oceans and be thinking about the way forward. You see, they can continue brainwashing them, but like I said, if we build the history on the land, they will see. Gone are the days where you go to the schools in America and when they are being taught of Africans sleeping on trees and sleeping on, you know, something, they don't have good schools, they don't have good water, they eat from whatever, and all those, you know, delusional and fake stories they've been teaching these young people. Today, those that want to know are becoming aware of it. So the reality is either they accept the realities, okay, or they become an enemy. America, whether they like it or not, the West, whether they like it or not, the children of the land will soon identify their roots. And when they find their roots, they will know who their enemies are. And the people that will stand behind, fire! And they will fire. They will say, you know what, sir? This is our people, and we are not going to fire no more. The children would identify who they are. And they are getting closer. Today, people are coming in, not because they come to just see Africa. Go to certain places, diasporan village, go, travel around. The Americans who call themselves African Americans are now accepting themselves to be either Ghanaians, either Burkinabe, either Nigerians. They are coming in, they are changing their nationality. And that speaks a lot. America can start counting their numbers down and not up to 350 million population or whatever they call themselves. They should start counting down, because in no time, with their documentations and papers and the green card or whatever, people would actually be using that as a shit paper.
Yes.
To clean the shithole. Yeah? They call us shithole, but they are going to use the green card and the documentation and all those papers to clean the shithole. And come and see the history. And today, it's not just a revolutionary walk. Today is just not a solidarity walk. Today is a day to remember us of our history. Today is a day to awaken the minds of the waking, the sleeping ones, that what is it at all that Ibrahim Traore is doing? That today we leave African leaders who are holding crutches to come and fight a young man who is actually giving hope to the people. And the same history is following. The minds are waking. I always say this, that eyes are watching, ears are listening, minds are processing, and they can never continue misinforming us for we to be dwelling on that misinformation and saying that why is it that when you travel to Germany, moving from Germany to Belgium, moving from Germany to the UK, moving from Germany to France, it's just
there's a Schengen visa.
I'm not even talking about their Schengen visa nonsense. I'm talking about a step. Because you are just standing one country here and the other country is here. You are just walking freely, nobody does no shit. And African leaders are so comfortable putting some people on our borders in the name of immigration, whatever nonsense. Come on.
So with that sense, do you think that the call will be welcomed by all African countries?
Come. The call. This is the meaning of the questions you are asking. That in no time Africa will be on one body. Africa wouldn't be separated. So this is the message. This is what it is. So this is the reality of the situation we face right now. And in no time, like I've always been saying, it's not like something that we are far from. It is something that we are just denying ourselves from the realities. And in no time, I know this generation is beginning to understand the call of our ancestors, the responsibility they left for us to carry. So whether they like it or not, in no time, Africa will be one body.
For us, a quick one. What message do you have for the West?
For the
West. For the West.
It is either they accept...
Regarding what's the attack on Ibrahim?
Touch one, touch all. Gone are the days where we were so divided that we can't even see the realities. They manipulate the stories and bring it to us and we consume it. Today we are going to be telling our own stories.
That is it.
We are reading our own stories. And thank them so much for some of them even coming out to tell us. In fact, let me tell you this. One of the greatest achievements of Barack Hussein Obama was the elimination of who?
Gaddafi, right?
And now he comes out to say he regrets because it is one of the things he regrets from unaliving Gaddafi. When the CIA, in collaboration with any American leader, orchestrates the evil deeds they do against Africa, after 2, 5, 10 years, they come out and say that they regret. They shouldn't regret. We thank them for doing it. And history is actually guiding us to remember their templates, the same tactics they use in doing their act. And now, we are watching, we are listening, we are processing, and we'll rise up to save ourselves. This is the
can see you
time.
in a
I
full
always say
African-
this,
The
that
use of-
Africa.
This is, you are like
one baby, one
Africa.
bonus.
I can see you projecting Africa continent.
Yeah.
What is your intention for representing the whole Africa today?